In recent months, this view of troubled Diyarbakir has become a familiar sight. Hilal sometimes uses her phone camera to film the nighttime gunfights. She knows what the explosions mean. A few blocks from her home, Turkish forces are again mopping up a nearby neighborhood. Hi, Hilal. Hi. What is happening? What's going on? Because I heard that there's bombs going off.
For us, it is normal. For example, when I go to another city, I feel very weird, you know, when I don't hear anything. When I don't see any like the vehicles on the streets, like our army everywhere, I feel weird. I think I get used to live with this.
You don't know where the next strike will come from, you know? So, listen, we'll call you as soon as we can. As soon as we land anywhere, we'll give you a call. Hilal is a journalist who's made it her mission to show what's happening in southeastern Turkey, how government forces are conducting an operation against the Kurds who live there and want more autonomy. Very little is said about the subject in Western media. Erdogan's government, under various pretexts, denies foreign journalists and independent Turkish reporters access to the area. So we decided to experience Kurdish reality through Hilal's lens.
I mean, as a citizen, and also as a journalist, and also as the Kurd who based on in Diyarbakir, I can't close my eyes where this kind of things are happening just like in front of my eyes. When I'm seeing like the smokes in the air, when I hear the sounds of bombs from my balcony, I can't just stay here and do nothing. So that's why I want to work and I want to show these things that people need to see and understand the situation. Maybe this helps and this makes the situation clear.
Almost every day, a few dozen women gather in the center of Diyarbakir, Hilal's hometown. They all carry photographs of their children who died in the neighboring town of Sur under circumstances that are far from clear. 2 months after the tragedy, Turkish authorities are still refusing to return the bodies to the bereaved families to be buried.
Neden oturduğunuzu anlatabilir misiniz? Ne yapıyorsunuz burada?
Burada benim kızım Sur'da vefat edilmiş. Cenazesi oradadır. Cenazesini bekliyorum. Cenazemi istiyorum. Bu 2 aydır cenazem Sur'dadır. Kızım 16 yaşındadır. Bir lise son sınıf öğrencisidir. Kızım üniformayla bir kalem kağıtla, bir kalem defterle gitti Sur'a. Ben burada oturmuşuz aileyle beraber 10 tane cenaze var Sur'un içinde. O cenazelerimizi almayana kadar buradan kalkmıyoruz. Eğer bu cenazelerimizi vermezse burada ölüm orucuna da bile gidebiliriz.
The only information that's available is scarce and controversial. There are reports, though, that anything from a few hundred to a few thousand people were killed during the months of conflict in the southeast between the authorities and the Kurds. The bloodiest episode was when the frontier city of Cizre was besieged for several months. Tanks and heavy artillery were deployed.
The thing that was most striking about the place is just the silence. When you're going around there, it's just completely silent. You can hear people like sifting through the ruins of their former homes, and they'll just say like a sort of like muted hello to each other when they cross each other's path in the street.
Merhaba. Merhaba, sarçoba. Sarsalim, sarçovim. Daha khoyinki.
RT correspondent William Whiteman has also struggled to work out exactly what happened in southeastern Turkey. As a journalist, it was impossible for him to reach Cizre legally. So William took a risky chance and managed to slip through the cordons and get into the ruined city. He took a local cameraman with him. He only had an hour to film the city, But the shocking things he saw there have left a lasting impression on him.
This here, this is the building where around 150 Kurds are supposed to have burned to death. You can see the whole building is completely collapsed. According to the HDP, the People's Democratic Party, their local MP, a number of bodies in this basement would have also been beheaded, as well as burned to death.
Look here, this blanket here is covered in blood. Inside here. The whole inside of this building is completely decimated as well. This was absolutely soaked in blood before.
The place, it smelled really strongly of rotting bodies. I mean, obviously, I didn't know if it was human bodies. It could have been like stray animals or something like that. But the whole place really smells very strongly of like rotting bodies. Especially when you get into the basements. The smell in the basements where people were supposed to have been burned to death is really overpowering. They said that Erdogan has just killed civilians here. They said that he's burned us to death. There's a woman that I spoke to. She showed me around her neighbours' houses, and she specifically said that Erdogan's soldiers who were operating here, she said that they looked and behaved like Daesh, like ISIS.
Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Devleti, bölücü terör örgütünün üstesinden gelecek güce, imkana ve kararlılığa sahiptir. Güvenlik güçlerimiz hem dağları hem de şehirleri karış karış teröristlerden temizliyor, temizlemeye devam edecektir.
Başlangıçta Erdoğan hani demokrasi ilkelerini savunuyormuş gibi yaptı ama sonradan o da tek millet ve tek dil şeklinde bir dayatmacı teklik üzerine iktidarını inşa etti. Böylesine tekliği savunan bir lider Kürt halkı gibi başka bir halkın varlığını kabul ederse tek dil ve tek millet söylemi çöker. Onun çökmesi demek Erdoğan'ın ideolojik olarak zemininin tasfiye olması demektir. İktidarını inşa ettiği ve oy toplamak için sürekli şovenizmi, milliyetçiliği körüklediği zeminin dağılması demektir.
It is extremely difficult for foreign journalists to work anywhere near the Turkish-Syrian border. Many reporters have been detained and deported while trying to film news stories in the area. It is a little easier for locals. That's why we asked Hilal to travel to the frontier regions to try and establish if there is still an illegal route by which people can be led across the border.
Şu an içinde bulunduğumuz 90 bin nüfusluk Kilis kentinde Suriye'de savaş başladığından beri yaklaşık 250 bine yakın Suriye vatandaşının bu kente yerleştiği söyleniyor. Bugün görüştüğümüz Suriyelilerin arasında İsa 18 yaşındaki Türkmen genç bize buraya 3 sene önce geldiğini fakat annesinin henüz 2 ay önce gelebildiğini söyledi. İsa'nın da belirttiği üzere burada sınırda belli kişilere para ödendiği, para karşılığında geçişler yapıldığı söyleniyor. Şu an burada kendinizi güvende hissediyor musunuz?
Ya burada bir şey yok. Burada bir şey yok yani.
Artık işit korkunuz yok.
Yok.
Nasıl geldi anneniz? Kim getirdi?
Çetelden getirdik. Ne kadar koyduk? 3 milyar koyduk ha. 3 milyar Türk.
3 milyar verdiniz. Kime ödediniz bu parayı getirmek için?
Burada bir tanesi var şurada telde. Bilmezdik yani. Aldılar bizden.
Me and my cameraman, we are planning to go to Gaziantep. There were some journalists that were following this ISIS tracks and the other issues. And on the border, we are hoping to see them and ask some questions about what happened there.
Yani bu iddialar kendi gözümle görmüş olduklarımız var sınır hattı boyunca. İşte Türkiye'ye ait zırhlı birliklerce sınır hattına gelip orada IŞİD elemanlarına kasalar dolusu bir şeyler verildiğini biz kamera kayıtlarını almıştık. Bunun içinde mühimmat mı vardı, bunun içinde yiyecek mi vardı? Bunu elbette bilemiyoruz ama yani sadece bir kasada bir yiyeceğin de götürülmeyeceğini az çok herkes tahmin edecektir diye düşünüyorum. Muhtemelen mühimmatlar veriliyordu.
The Kurdish People's Defense Units, or YPG, remain the Islamic State's main opposition in northern Syria. Throughout the spring of 2016, they have launched successful attacks on Caliphate militant positions. Shadadi became yet another city to be liberated by the YPG.
Dokument ev pasportana taybeti Google ser cenaze Daesh hatine ditim. Ser Türkiye'ye derbasi Suriye buna. Tabii hamiye bunların ama hemi pasportu Google خدمة تركيا مثلا مشتركة. چه نشان داده گوگ همی چتهین جدر و تایبتی اندامن داعش ای گوگش در وتین همی سر ترکیه ره.
Adın nedir?
Mahmut Gazi Tatar.
Yaşın kaç?
24.
Nereden geldin?
Türkiye'den. Adıyaman.
Nereden duydun sen?
Valla benim geçtiğim yer Cerablus tarafındaydı.
Cerablus.
Ya benimle beraber 17 kişi geldik biz Suriye. Türk vatandaşı. Geçtiğimizde herhangi bir şeyle karşılaşmadık. Yani rahat bir şekilde geçtik. O şekilde.
Sen gördün bir şeyin Türkiye'ye işte destek veriyor bu gruplara.
Hani petrol alışverişi var. Bunu biliyorum. Ondan sonra yiyecek. Yani dünya şu anda birleşmiş. IŞİD'e karşı savaşı. Petrol ürünü Türkiye'ye giriyor. Yani bunun hani nasıl olur da yani Erdoğan hükümetinin bundan haberi olmaz. Yani illaki vardır haber.
DAEŞ'in petrollerini Türkiye'nin satın aldığını söylemek gibi bir iftiranın içerisine girmek, böyle bir iftirayı Türkiye atma hakkına kimse sahip değildir. Türkiye bir terör örgütünden petrol alacak kadar ahlaki değerlerini kaybetmemiştir.
I think is more likely is obviously that Turkey has a long history of backing jihadist rebel groups in Syria. What the locals were saying is that Turkey was bringing these guys across the border and they were doing the most brutal of the killings.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello, Hila, how are you?
I'm fine, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Where are you now, by the way?
I'm in Diyarbakır now.
Okay, and what's the situation there like? Do you feel safe? Is it okay?
If you were here, you had to forget everything that's happening every day.
Mm-hmm.
While you're writing, your report, you hear the sounds of F-16 jets, you hear the sounds of bombs. So if you want to stay alive, your memory tells you that forget.
In December 2015, the relatives of the people who died in Sur demonstrated to demand the return of the bodies. Police special ops units blocked